Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. All right, we need to jump back and put a little note into the episode that's coming up.
Okay.
Because I kind of railed pretty hard on somebody, and I said there's a lot of things that you're not supposed to do, and then I was sitting in bed last night, and I go, I don't want to be that person who says all the things you shouldn't do and not say the things that you should do.
Yeah.
So next week, listen to this episode. And then next week in the following episode, I'm going to have my own PDF and my own guide for what you should do SEO-wise with a blog, a little checklist.
Okay.
Every time you publish.
Okay. And I mean, you were impassioned, but you didn't.
And it wasn't, I know. It wasn't even that this particular advice was that bad. It was just that it's so common. It's this type of thing that I get really sick of seeing. Yeah. And I know it's so prevalent. I didn't go out looking for it. This was just the result of somebody giving it to me. And so that
thinking that it was legit and good and something that will help them.
So listen to this episode. Listen to all these things that you don't want to do that you're probably seeing out there on Google. Yeah. And then come back and listen to the next episode and get the PDF on the things you should do.
Good idea. That's very nice. I think that's nice.
I hope so. Enjoy. All right. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Ah, man, I've had one of those days.
Oh, no.
Somebody passed along to me today.
A note.
I'm not going to say who it is. A note, sort of a note.
Secret note in class.
It was one.
I love you.
It was one of these blog checklists. The top 10 things you need to do for SEO for your blog.
Okay.
Which is a good idea in itself. People have asked me about having things like that in the past, and I think that's a good idea.
Everybody loves the top 10.
Have a checklist. Did I do these things? ABC, blah, blah, blah. Good, great. So somebody gave me this thing, said, maybe you can add to it.
Excellent.
Like, super, that's great. And I look at it, and this is the thing that really fucking pisses me off about the SEO industry. And I'm not gonna say who this is.
Okay.
Who wrote this, because I don't want to call names, and I'm going to give this person the benefit of that they thought that this was good advice.
It was Meredith's husband.
Yeah. It was.
It was not.
It was from a person who sells their services as an SEO specialist. SEO specialist / copywriter. Okay. And I get a little upset when people sell themselves as SEO special. They're selling SEO. Yeah. They're selling this. And this advice right here, which I had to print out, and I have...
Oh, I hear it.
I have ready to go.
That's sound effects, but real.
Just like David Letterman doing a top 10 list, I feel like. It's fucking shit. Now, okay, well, let me rephrase that. Yeah. Okay. There's 10 points. Yeah. Some of them, I'd say half are about SEO and half are more about copywriting.
Huh. That's hence the / copywriting. Yeah.
So the points that are about SEO are fucking shit.
Okay. You want to elaborate? How do you really feel?
It's the end of the podcast.
Thank you so much for listening.
No, so I'm going to go through these and I'm going to tell you why they're shit. Yeah. Why you should how you can look out for stuff like this. Yeah. And what I do instead, because my clients bring me shit like this too.
But they don't think it's shit.
No, nobody
does.
They
think it's great.
And I'm giving, as much as I'm calling it shit, the person who created this, I don't want to, they're not knowingly, as far as I know, putting this out there as being shitty advice. They think it's maybe good. And it was, you know what? It was probably good in like 2012, 2014. It's probably good advice then.
Right. Like gingerbread houses were good. So, but now it's been, if you made one then, not so delicious now.
Right. Let's go.
Do you know how hard it is to find a vegan, gluten-free gingerbread house kit?
And they're all fucking shit. Okay.
I don't know. I can't find any to make.
Let's go through these. So the number one thing.
Are we doing their list from number one?
Yeah, I'm going to do all 10. And like I said, half of them I'm not going to comment on copywriting because
there's no need. That's
not my thing.
No, it is not.
You agreed with that awfully quickly. Number one. Okay. So number one, you got to include your keyword in all of these places, and they list some places. Number one, or A, let's call this number 1A. Okay. Title. Now, I don't know if they're talking about the SEO title or the heading.
Okay.
They later use the word title to suggest that they mean the heading of the page, which is not the title. Those are different things.
Was this written in 2014? Okay.
I don't think so. So because I went and checked this person's site, and it's online. It's still online now. Okay. So title. Include your keyword in all of these. Your title. Well, yeah. Okay. Yes, you should include your keyword in your SEO title.
Yeah.
And probably also the heading in both of them. So even though it's unclear what they're talking about, I agree with that. Okay.
Okay. So starting off, not total shit.
Not total shit, but I'm like, well, are you talking about your SEO or your title tag, or are you talking about your heading? I don't know.
They don't
know what they're talking about. No, they don't say. They just say title, which is not a
specific.
Yeah, not very good off the bat. Not it's not shit, but it's
terrible.
Not terrible. And then they go on your first paragraph. Okay. Like it's not bad to put your keywords up in your copy, although I'm going to say okay. Okay. Not great advice in 20.
Are we still in number one?
We're on number one in 2023, but okay.
Okay.
We're about halfway through number one. We got more. At least one H2 heading. Okay, don't do that.
And just if somebody is listening in for the first time, what is an H2 heading?
So think of H tags. We call them heading tags. Yeah. There's H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Typically, every single page that you look at on the internets.
I know. They have a size to it.
It's going to have an H1. It's usually the big, bold text right at the top of the page. That's typically your H1. If you have smaller headlines, those are typically, or they should probably be H2s. Sometimes H3s and H4s and H5, but typically you're going to see H1s and H2s.
Okay.
If you put your main keyword in your title, which I assume this person means your heading, your H1, and then in your H2, wow, that's going to be awfully spammy. That's going to look like garbage.
Repetitive.
It's going to look like an SEO robot wrote it from 2012.
Rubbish.
Okay, so I don't like that one.
Okay.
Your alt text, put your keywords in your alt text. Don't do this. We've talked about this. Please don't do this. Please stop doing this.
Yeah.
This is like, God, don't do this. This is, I assume,
so feisty.
This person, I assume, means image alt text, which I don't think there's any other type of alt text really. So that's pretty safe. Don't do that. Don't put your keywords in your image. We've talked about this. Those are meant for vision impaired people.
Yes.
Don't stuff keywords in there. Google really does not like that. In fact, right on the Google guidelines page where it says, hey, this is shit you should not do, stuff keywords in your image alt text. They're very specific about that.
Right.
Okay. Then this person goes on. Meta description. Put your keywords in your meta description. Does not do a thing. Zero. Right. We've talked about this too.
Waste of time.
I mean, you can if you want, but it makes absolutely no difference. And Google has said this also. Like,
time is quite precious. Use it wisely.
You're talking to me or this person?
No, I'm talking to the universe.
I thought you were talking to me, saying like, "Okay, let's get to number 2, please." Your URL slug. Yeah, and this is the final piece of number 1. Your URL slug. So the name of the page, the URL. Sometimes, if it's appropriate. Like if you're talking about your children's photography page.
Yes.
Yes, if it makes sense, is that page about children's photography? If that page on your website is the children's photography page, then yes. Huh. If you are trying to stuff keywords into your URLs thinking that it's good for SEO, it is not.
It is not.
In fact, and this is very dangerous because people go back and they change URLs and they put keywords in there, and that fucking destroys everything.
Yeah.
It really messes
Why even get
up.
out of bed?
Yeah. God. Meredith is making such fun of me right now. But what happens is you go back and you put a keyword into your URL, you change that URL, it absolutely 100% is going to hurt your rankings. When you change a URL. Because Google is looking at that. Google knows that page exists at whatever URL there is.
The spiders went out and found him.
There might be links. There might be links from other websites pointing to that URL, and now you've changed it. So that original URL is gone. And with it, any SEO value that it had. And instead, you've put you're following this advice. You're putting your keywords in your URL, thinking it's doing good, and it's doing the exact opposite. It's doing very bad.
Very bad.
So that's number one. I don't like number one.
No, it started out okay and then took a turn.
Yeah.
For the worse.
Okay. And number two, check your blog title. And this is I think this kind of goes back and forth between SEO tips and copywriting tips.
You mentioned.
But I think it alternates is what I'm saying. It goes one.
Oh, I see. That would make sense.
So this is
one for you, one for me.
Or maybe not. We'll see. Who knows? So this one is about copywriting. It says use a, I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to give it away. Like, I don't want to read this.
What away? Oh, because
if I say exactly the wording of this thing, then people can Google it and figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
So it says include, emotional words and active words in your blog title. Great. No problem with that.
That's not a problem.
And then it goes on. Number three is actually it's also about copywriting, sort of. It says, make sure it's easy to read.
Right.
Okay. I will go along with that. Yes.
That's fine.
It says, do you have an H1 heading? It says actually one H1 heading. You every page should have at least one H1 heading.
Okay.
You can have more than one H1 heading. There is a myth that is really bad for SEO, and it makes no difference.
Yes.
Yeah. I won't get into that, but you should have an H1 heading. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Subheadings formatted as H2 headings. Yeah, I agree with that. Short sentences.
Yeah.
A single topic per paragraph and bullet lists and
this is all
copyrighted. Fine. Yeah, I agree with that.
Is this on number 3?
That's number 3, yeah.
Okay.
So because you want to be done with this.
I'm just.
So we're on to number 4 now.
Okay.
You're write at least 1,000 words. Now that not every blog has to be 1,000 words.
Okay.
It depends on what you're writing about.
Right.
It depends on really the competition. Are you trying to rank for something that is
ice?
Are you trying to rank for a keyword that your competing websites have really long blogs? Well, then you're probably going to need a longer blog.
Right.
If you are, say, like if I went to Google and I did a search for contact Meredith Zinner photography, your contact page would come up most likely.
Hopefully.
Guess what page doesn't have 1,000 letters of copy on it?
My contact page.
So you got to think about the objective of the page,
right?
And engage. Now,
make sure it is aligned.
Yeah, and that's not terrible advice, but it's kind of blanket.
Fair.
Number 5. So okay. So
halfway through.
We're almost halfway through. Do you have one internal link and one external link? This is pretty bad. And I don't know where to begin. If it's a blog page, I hope to God you have at least one link to another one of your website pages on a blog.
Every blog?
This says have at least one internal link on your blog. So one link on your blog page that goes to another page on your website.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Yes, please.
Right.
I'm going to assume that this person means from within the copy and not like the navigation and the footer, etc.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So in that case, yeah, you should have. I would say you're probably going to have more than one. I hope.
Oh, I wish people could see your face.
But the one external links, that's garbage.
Garbage.
This is I don't know how this rumor started really, but there's a thing like,
rumor has it.
You have to link for SEO. You have to link out. I think that's how it. I think that's how it started. Is links are good for SEO. So somebody took that to mean links to other websites.
100%.
Now, no. That's not good. In fact, you have to be very careful where you link to, because when you link to another website, you're giving them some of your own SEO value. You're passing it through. You're sending it to them.
Right. Do you know?
Can you see the hand motion?
I do. And that both reminded me of Pigs in Space with Link Heartthrob. You were mentioning links.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know Link Heartthrob. This does nothing for your own SEO, linking out. What you have to think about is, would an external link to something else be helpful to your reader? Right. Is there something you could link to that's going to be beneficial for this person? In that case, if it's good for the reader, then it is probably good for SEO. Just make sure that you are linking to a quality website. Yes. Do not link to a shitty website.
That would be akin to linking your rope to a sinking ship if you are on a boat.
Yeah. That's actually not bad.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's number 5. So I think we're like half and half.
Yeah.
Number 1 was terrible. 2 and 3 were okay. 4 was
pretty
5
much.
was number 6. Images. Every blog needs a clear banner image.
Banner image.
Okay. I think I think this person means header image.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
It's not for SEO. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but it's pretty common practice. Yes.
Yeah. Grab the attention.
At least 2 good quality relevant images. Again, not really important for SEO, but it's common practice, like to have good images and have them be relevant.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think this is horrible.
Use JPEGs in capital letters, not PNGs. So that's bullshit.
Okay.
And where this comes from, this myth again, is that PNG files are bad for SEO. It doesn't matter. What is bad for SEO is big images.
Right.
So JPEGs can compress, and PNG files are typically bigger files.
Uh-huh.
So I could revise this and say, if you're exporting images from, say, like Canva.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you have the option, or it does give you the option when you download an image, do you want a PNG or a JPEG?
Uh-huh. Also Photoshop.
Yeah. So in that case, you would probably want to go with JPEG because the PNG file is going to be bigger, but the file itself doesn't make any difference. Right. And in fact, if you need to use or you need to have transparency in your image, like a clear
PNG.
background, then obviously you need a PNG. And do
you think it's from penguin?
No. Why? Okay.
Ping. It's the in-between letters of penguin.
And they named images these PNGs because of
they love penguins.
No, I think it means something very specific.
Okay.
So in that case, if you're exporting from Photoshop or Canva, probably choose the JPEG. It will probably be smaller and you can compress it more to keep your file size down. Now, a better option would be what they call a WEBP format.
Oh.
And that is done, that is what's recommended by Google. You could do an SVG file. That's a little more advanced. It's for like vector type stuff. But a WebP, a lot of image conversion, image compression tools out there, and even your web host might do this for you. A WebP image is going to take anything, a JPEG or a PNG, and compress it down. It's going to be very small and still look pretty good. Doesn't matter if you start with a JPEG or a PNG, though.
Whenever you say, there's like a web host, I always think of some person like greeting you going, "Hi. Table for how many? Follow me."
So you want to start a restaurant and call it Web, and we can hire the host, and they can be the web host.
WebP.
You know that somebody sent me something on Instagram, and somebody named their restaurant Near Me. So when people do a Google search, they look for restaurant near me.
That's clever.
That's sort of clever. Not how it works, but a good try.
Maybe.
Okay, that's number 6. Don't like number 6. Number 7, alt text. Make sure you have added alt text to all your blog images, alt text to your featured image. Okay, yes, but combine this with this person's earlier point. I forget which one it was put keywords in your alt text. This is when people hear this, they put keywords in their alt text.
Right.
Images should have alt text. Yes, it's actually, I would say, kind of rare that they're going to have your keyword. Any image on your page is probably going to have or should have alt text that is related to your keyword, yes, but not your exact keyword.
Right.
Because Google is beyond the stage of saying, okay, this page has this keyword on it 10 times. Let's rank it number 1 for that keyword. Right. If you were to have I'm just going to try to put this in context a little bit. If you have a blog and you're talking about, say, the rehearsal dinner and the vows and the ring bearers and the groomsmen, what do you think we're talking about?
A rainbow. A wedding.
Thank you. Notice,
chocolate chips.
Notice I didn't say the word wedding and you knew what I was talking about. Google is the same way. Like you don't need to say wedding right. in order for Google to understand that you're talking about weddings.
Right.
Image alt text is like that. In fact, all of the pages like that, but image alt text especially. Try to think of it that way.
Okay.
I don't care for number 7 either.
Clearly.
Okay, number 8.
Can you hear Buster chomping?
I can hear something.
Yeah, he's chewing on a chew.
Number 8.
Ate his in like 2 seconds.
Add a page title. So again, we're back to
what is with the titles?
Again, I don't know if this person is talking about the heading or the title. Yes.
But they mentioned it 3 times.
Yes to both of those. You need both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Add your meta description. Yes. Okay. That oversimplifies it a little, but we'll let that go. Okay. Customize your URL slug. Again, please don't stuff keywords in there, but you do want a custom URL. I would give a whole different set of criteria to what you want to do with these things.
How so?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my own top 10 blog post of things you should do, and I'm going to say what you should do with each of these.
I think you should. Are you going to make it a blog post?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
That's pretty clever. It's kind of meta.
It is meta. Number 9 and 10 are actually not bad. They're not.
Okay,
they're not,
it doesn't seem like this whole thing is horrible.
Well, number 9 and 10 are basically make sure your page is working and make sure it's working on mobile.
Okay.
But the big things are, number 1 is literally going to hurt your SEO. It's going to put up a red flag with Google that you're spamming right off the bat.
I try and play devil's advocate, but that I will understand.
No, like aside from saying like, oh, put action words in your copy and things like that, all this is pretty bad. Like this is all gonna make your SEO worse.
Right. And the point is to make it better.
Point is to make it better.
Right.
And, I've had over the last 20 years, a lot of my clients often come to me with things like this. And they say, should we do this? Because there's stuff out there. There's no end to stuff like this out there. And I have adopted, since like 2012, I've adopted a set of like 5 rules for SEO. And what I do is when people come to me with stuff like this, I go back to these 5 rules and I say, do these tips, do these things that somebody's telling you to do,
tips.
Does it fit the 5 rules? Because the 5 rules align with what Google is trying to do.
Right.
And so all these things about, like I said, this was good advice in 2014. Things change, like 12, 14, 16, 18. SEO, the tiny little details change, but the overriding goal of Google it doesn't change.
Right.
It's the same. So if you align yourself with Google, my 5 rules.
Are you going to share those?
I am going to share them. Not today, but I am going to share them. It's what I think of as SEIQ rather than SEO, because you think like Google, you don't have to worry about all this shit. You don't have to. And when these things do come across your desk and you're like, do I need to do this? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do this? You can just refer back to the rules of SEIQ, and that will allow you to evaluate new rules, new guides, new top 10 lists like that, and say, is it full of shit, or is this something I should do?
Oh, is it kind of like a food triangle?
Nope.
Good.
No, it's more of like, I don't know, in my head, I think of it as like pillars. A lot of times the sign for a bank is like, how the White House has those big pillars. Yeah. And a lot of things like banks, might even be on our dollar bill, I don't know. Like pillars, they're like the pillars of SEO. They're the things that will never change.
Right. Unless you're a beaver and you gnaw at the bottom and it all.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Meredith. I'm building my SEO pillar that'll last forever out of wood that a beaver can eat.
Do you think when the person is writing it, they think they're the shit?
Well, they think it's, like I said in the beginning, I'm giving this person who wrote this the benefit of the doubt that they think it's good advice. But
right.
And if you want to do that, that's fine. But
don't
sell it. Don't sell it as advice. No. Like if you want to write a blog and do this, okay. Like believe it or not, there's lots of blogs out there that are not 100% correct.
What? Yes. On the web?
Yeah. But if you're selling information and calling yourself a specialist,
expert,
I hope that the specialty that you are providing does not give the exact opposite effect of what you are promising.
Yes, I agree. Okay.
Which is why I get angry.
Oh, yes.
And I'm hungry.
I'm so full. I had way too much chocolate. Hey. Thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.